all we do. What are the odds? What are the odds? Hey, Tony P, what are the odds?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tony P. That makes this Tony P Oddcast. That's Greg. That doesn't make this anything. That was just Greg. That's Greg Klima. You can find him at klima.com. He makes music like that one. He's awesome. I think he was in tour. I saw him. I haven't talked to him in a while. Greg, if you listen, we need to catch up. Hope all is well. But he's I was just at some festival. I keep up on Facebook. I'm like, oh, there's Greg. Yay. Probably not singing my theme song. He should. Matter of fact, I'm going to call him. I'm going to let him know he should do that. What's going on? I'm trying to think. 4th of July is coming up. I guess that's cool. That's a thing. I don't know. I might go do something. Get out of the house. Seen a bunch of movies lately. All pretty good. I feel like I owe you guys more awesome and amazing stories. Fortunately, I have stories coming up, but I'm good, man. I just been chilling. I had to work a little late today, but it was no big deal. I don't know. What else? Do you have any questions? Comments? I'm going to pause here for thoughts from anyone looking around the room. Y'all good? All right. Feel free to stop me at any point. Just because that was the time for questions, you can feel free. This is a back and forth conversation. We're all in this together. So feel free to stop me anytime. If you have questions, comments, I'd love to hear them. So my note here says, the wrong way to date, comma, a pig, comma, and a walrus. And I wrote that last night. I know what these stories are about. But then just now I almost read it as the wrong way to date a pig and a walrus. Is there a right way to date a pig and a walrus? You know what? I'm calling it now. That's my title. I usually don't. Sometimes I come up with a title. Sometimes I don't. Again, past couple weeks, hadn't had one. But there it is. That's what we're going with. So let's just get into that. There's really there's nothing else you can do after that. Amber Beraun was walking to her mailbox at about 4 a.m. All right, why? I don't want to victim shame. That's not cool, right? People shouldn't, this is about to be bad at 4 a.m. And it's, nobody's fault they're a victim. Don't check your mail at 4 a.m. I barely check my mail at all. 3 p.m. Just got to play it safe. After working a late shift, okay, so she got home late, decided to check her mail. She was approached by a man who held her up at gunpoint. He took it out of his pocket to show me what was going on. Again, a gun. I was like, what? But gunpoint. She was held at gunpoint. So we're assuming the sentence means he took his gun out of his pocket to show her what was going on. The suspect was identified as Damian Boyce. He pointed the gun at Beraun's head and demanded $100. Hey, give me $100. Damian, you'd be out of luck, dude. Do you take cards? Can I do a tap? Can I do a little Apple Pay? Who has $100 in this economy? You're just walking around with $100? Not me. If you are, cool. I'll tell you who's not. Me. I just don't carry cash. So he asked for $100. And then he said, hey, do you have a boyfriend? And would you add me on Facebook? Wow. Is that the move? Is that what we're supposed to be doing, fellas? At that point, Boyce reportedly opened his phone and watched the lady add him as a friend. Why would you do that? Now you're caught. Hey, cop, can you identify the man? Yeah, it's this guy. We're friends on Facebook. Here's 800 pictures of him and his name. But anyway, he promised to pay her back, and then he left the scene on a bicycle. Did she have the $100? Yeah, promising to pay back the money he stole. I don't know, maybe. She got off work at 4 a.m. Let's say maybe she was a restaurant server and had tips. Or maybe she had other jobs that wrapped at 4 a.m. where she just happened to have cash. So the woman explained, I thought if I added him on Facebook, he would leave. And he did. Yeah, decent logic. Later that day, the guy who held up the woman sent a couple of texts telling her, hey, look, just so you know, I'm going to pay you back. This is kind of a messed up way to meet somebody, but you were too pretty to rob. Well, obviously not pretty enough. He still robbed her. Just because you pay him back didn't mean you didn't rob him. I don't mean to like get technical on his line there, but that's exactly what happened. Like, you robbed her. Beraun, the woman, said she believed him and said she understood that sometimes times just get rough. Y'all, I'm all about kindness and forgiveness. And times do get rough. And people make mistakes. But I don't forget, I'm not forgiving you holding me up at gunpoint. And we're certainly not going to be friends on Facebook. I don't want to be friends with normal. I meet normal, decent people in the world that don't rob me for $100. And they're like, hey, you want to be friends on Facebook? I'm like, no. Police in Wisconsin lured a 300-pound pot-bellied pig named Albert with some fruit snacks because he was found wandering loose through a neighborhood. The Green Bay Police Department shared the tale on their Facebook page that Albert's big city adventure took place on a warm and sunny Monday. And officers responded to 911 calls. What? Don't they say like, hey, if this isn't an emergency, call a different number? This is why people are getting a woman just got robbed. Probably couldn't get through to 911. 911's putting people on hold because there's not one but numerous calls calling 911 because there's a pig on the loose. Dang, that should have been the title. Pig on the loose. I don't know. We'll see. I'll debate about it. But who are these people? Like, oh my God, there's a pig. Call the emergency services. 911 barely comes if some people call them for real emergencies. Who's come? Oh, I'm sorry. What, ma'am? There's a pig. That's a 10-4. We gotta. What would the code be for a pig? I don't know. I can't come up with numbers and letters that fast. We got a 942 on the east side, pig on the loose. Send out we need backup. Send numerous officers. There's an all points bulletin. We need everybody to respond to the pig on the loose. Apparently somebody got there and questioned Albert the pig as to where he lived, but his snout was not pointing in the right direction, according to the authorities. Okay, now it's actually kind of ironic, now that I get it. Officers went door to door until a neighbor, door to door, there's people, it took them 5 days to find these people in a submarine. Door to door. Excuse me, ma'am, do you know this pig? Door to door until a neighbor was able to identify Albert's owner, who shared with police that Albert had slipped through a gate that was accidentally left open. Albert was not going back to his home without a fight, said, you're not taking me alive, coppers. The pig had worked up an appetite, and that appetite was a peculiar taste for fruit snacks. But once we found Mom, she knew Albert was only going to cut his big city adventure short under one condition, that we just buried the lead on: fruit snacks. Mom was with the officer. She pulled out a bag of fruit snacks, and Albert went home. Everything's okay, folks. You don't have to continue to call the emergency services. We don't need an army of cops to knock on your door. Again, I think someone sent me a message and said it's not true, but I thought you had to be missing for 24 hours for them to like put in a missing persons thing. And you got, meanwhile, door to door because a pig turned up? I don't know. I might be wrong about the law, but I think the moral of that story is you're better off being a pig than a human in danger. All right, folks, we wrap it up with a fight. I usually don't talk about fights. I don't like fights, but this is the fight of the century. Two of the world's most high-profile technology billionaires have agreed to fight each other in a cage match. Yes, you heard it here fifth, folks. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. They're talking about fighting. Mr. Musk posted a message on a social media platform, Twitter. Did anyone even get that? Isn't Twitter broken? He said he was up for a cage fight with Mr. Zuckerberg. Mr. Zuckerberg, the boss of Facebook and Instagram, then posted a screenshot of the tweet and said, send me a location. My man said, bet, pull up, drop a pin. I will be there. Mr. Musk, Elon, then replied and said, Vegas, Octagon. Octagon, that's MMA. They're not even boxing or wrestling. They're straight mixed martial arting it up. It says here the Octagon is a competition mat fenced in area used for ultimate fighting. Ultimate fighting is based in Vegas. Mr. Musk, who turns 52 later this month, says, I have a great move that I call the walrus, where I just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing. He then posted some funny videos of walruses, hopefully maybe kind of saying, hey man, I was just joking. He is too old to be doing, don't be fighting. I think Zuckerberg's maybe in his early 40s, I think early 40s. But I also happen to know, not like I'm friends with the dude, I just saw it somewhere, that Zuckerberg's hobby is like jiu-jitsu or something, and he competes in jiu-jitsu tournaments. I don't know if he's great, but he probably knows a little more jiu-jitsu than Elon Musk. Please don't fight. If you're listening to the show, hey man, it's okay. You both have a gazillion dollars. Just, go to your corners, shake hands, and maybe go on a joint submarine expedition or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, as we wrap up, don't fight anybody, especially other billionaires. You're doing all right, man. It's okay. If your pig gets lost, always have some fruit snacks. And I don't know, if coffee date isn't working, rob a woman, then ask her out. You'll at least get her Facebook out of it. That was the wrong button. That happens sometimes. I'm going to do it again because I liked it. It was such a good ending. Don't fight. Carry fruits. You know what?